Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, David, for covering the local pay-ins payment method. It's very important as I'm going to cover the other side, the payouts, and it's about local payouts. Thanks again for joining this session. I would try to make it interesting for you. So I will introduce myself briefly. I am Chief Product Officer at Payable. My name is Igor Skachkov, and I've been in payments for more than 12 years. I've been in payments when mobile POS was introduced as a new technology, and I was part of the Visa team helping local players to adopt it. I was also in payments when we were testing with issuing banks the new technology at that time, contactless payments, and I was paying with my phone at the grocery store in 2014. Imagine the face of the cashier at that time when I was making a purchase. And I was there also when the payments to cards were something new and the instant payments were vision. Now it's all different. Now these technologies are with us and even more evolving. Today, everyone is talking about payment acceptance, local payment acceptance, and I want to cover the local payouts as the main topic of today's discussion. So local payouts today constitutes more than a half of the merchant payments, and it's very important to cover this within this presentation. First, I would like to ask you to scan the QR code. I don't know if there is a question. Okay, yeah, so just to understand the landscape in this audience. So what's your preferred payout process? Are you using local payouts? Are you using Swift rails? If you scan QR code, we can see the results quickly. Yeah, you see, direct locally. So, looking at this graph, it's obvious that Swift is important, right? But local payouts is something that that makes a difference, right? That you will not go the long road if you can go shorter road. So that's what I'm gonna talk today. Thank you. I will switch to the next slide, and the next slide is payout use cases. It's my segregation of payout use cases. Of course, you may have your own. I just make it for you to feel the importance of payouts and how they integrate it in everyday life of different merchants today. So marketplace payouts. So typically marketplaces are the classic ones, like selling goods and services like Amazon, or the user-driven marketplaces, which are booming today in this gig economy, where content creators are the sellers. No matter where a marketplace is located, the payouts are global because the suppliers, the merchants, are usually global. So it's important for a marketplace to make sure that the settlements are delivered timely within the global landscape. This comes with suppliers as well, as merchants, global suppliers are also distributed around the world. And for companies of any size, it's important to be able to settle with local suppliers and with global suppliers using their preferred currency and in a timely manner. You know that the payouts for e-commerce merchants for refunds, for commissions, for fees, or for settlements, it's more than the half of their overall payments volume. And for marketplaces, it's huge. It's even more. So part of the payouts experience, you can see the incentives and rebates. It's still a very important piece of the consumer loyalty that merchants support. And imagine these all are micropayments usually. So how can we send a micropayment in a local currency, cross-border, at lower cost? I think it's impossible if you use a global payment rails. So payouts locally is something that merchants need to adopt to continue to provide rebates and incentives. Refunds, maybe not the most, maybe not the biggest part of payment experience, but most important part of payment experience, because it also affects loyalty of consumers, and it's a big issue when you cannot execute refunds quickly and again in the local currency. So this adds significant cost for marketplaces because refunds are executed at the cost of marketplaces, and this is not a burden of a consumer. Right? Travel commissions, right? So those of you who work in the travel industry understand there is a long chain of travel providers within one purchase, and then you need to be able to settle with all of them. Here, the importance of local payouts cannot be underestimated. Okay, so this is the use cases. What about the hurdles? Yeah, so again, it's my segregation of hurdles, but let's see what we have. Direct local connections, direct local connectivity. So while many are talking about simplification of payment experience, local payment methods, the payouts are still, in many cases, are executed within the old school global payment rails. And it adds cost to every payout, and also waiting time is very long. So companies who start international business are looking for payment providers who can do both pay-ins and payouts locally, because it helps them to calculate their unit economics and help them to grow. And it's important to find a local provider also covering more than one country. So it's a very difficult task for merchants to really hit the target and partner with someone who can cover all the regions, countries where the merchant want to develop in, to be present within several years. Unpredictable forex costs, right? So businesses need transparency. And today, the conversion rate significantly adds to the unit cost. We can exclude it from the equation. We still have a lot of currencies around the globe, and merchants try to balance this by partnering with local providers, seeking for the transparent conversion rates, for the predictable delivery cost of the payment, and also use it to predict the transaction cost and make decisions on when and how to make a payment. There is a big issue called marketplace circumvention. If you know, this means that the marketplace are losing a heavy part of consumers who prefer to settle directly with merchants. This is partly because of the high cost of the payments, and this is also related to high foreign exchange costs. Liquidity is one of the hurdles. I cannot skip it because it's very important to understand that liquidity is a key when you want to do instant payments. Now everyone is talking about instant payments. Payments should be instant, but behind the scenes, it's always about liquidity. And banks today are not the only source of liquidity. With the local providers who has access to liquidity, who provide the rails to handle the payments, and who is able to provide good conversion rates, merchants can feel that they can execute any size of local payment methods, local payouts. Unified payment infrastructure. When a merchant wants to enter a new market, it's always about integrating with one or two players. What if there are 5 or 10 players? And I'm not questioning ability of merchant to integrate with these players, but it's more about orchestrating these players. Because as a merchant, you need to bear all this technology burden of making sure that you send the payout to the right provider, and you handle and follow the procedure of this provider to handle the payment. Many things to be considered. It's about enriched automated data formatting to navigate through the very complex cross-border flows. It's about mass payouts, where you don't need to execute each payout separately, and it's about information, it's about data. You need to understand, you need to have a uniform information about statuses of payments, rejection reasons, delivery times, and many other things through one interface. And it's very hard for a merchant to build this themselves to really have a unified experience working with multiple providers. Onboarding and compliance seems familiar, right? So every country has own regulation. A merchant based in India doesn't know what regulation is in Europe, and the same. And the same goes with the merchant sitting in Europe doesn't know what payout regulation is in India. What you need to follow to make sure that your payment is delivered. And this is very interesting topic for merchants and for local players who help merchants to understand the local specific and help them to actually execute payments the right way. And of course, data and insights, right? We are talking about payments. We are talking about that data helps us to understand our consumers. Data about payouts also helps us a lot to understand both consumers and also to understand our preferences of our local partners, and also help us to fine-tune our orchestration with the providers we work. So, you know, as a conclusion, I would like to say that limited countries coverage with local payment methods leads to using more international payout options, and it comes with higher cost and longer delivery time. Focusing on providers with local teams and local presence is key for merchants. It's important to understand the foreign exchange transparency and understand like how the payments is going to be executed in the local currency, right? Unified API is very important for merchants as well as enrich data about payments and good interface, whatever it can be, to actually manage and orchestrate all the payouts within multiple regions. I think that in general, the companies today are striving to build both pay-in and payout experience. I mean, the payment companies, so they're not focusing only on one side of things, and making payouts as well as pay-ins convenient, fast, and effective is a key to become competitive in this market. So if you would like to know more about payouts, you're welcome to come to our booth, which is just the opposite of this venue, and speak to our team. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah.